All right, welcome back to episode 92 of the Hops and Bobs podcast. I am Tom, and we are doing another episode in our interview series. I have the one and only Gravis with me. Some of them in person, some of them over the wonders of the internet. Why don't we go around the room and introduce ourselves? I'll start. My name's Tom. I'm 24, and I'm here.
My name is Trevor. I'm 23. I'm also here.
And engaged.
And say what your favorite sandwich is.
My favorite sandwich is a hamburger sandwich. A hot dog definitely.
Oh,
not,
don't
but it's a
start this.
hamburger.
Taco.
Don't start this.
Taco.
A cereal, actually.
If burgers count, it's a Harry's Place Colchester cheeseburger, bacon, cheese stacker with fried onions, pickles, ketchup, mustard. And if it doesn't count, then it's a Hamilton Market in New London, Connecticut. Their Italian combo. It's a great grinder.
I'm Evan. I'm 24. I like cheeseburgers.
That was great.
I'm Bosco. I'm 24, and I like a good turkey, provolone, lettuce, mayo, olive oil, red wine vinegar.
Yep.
On a roll. Some
Jersey
preferably from Wawa, but I will take from any fine dining establishment or otherwise. I'm 24.
I'm Ethan. I'm 24, and I like probably something on rye bread. Big fan of pastrami. Heat that shit up. Never any tomatoes, and probably some other things on it.
That was a really bad pick, Ethan.
That's just really controversial. No tomatoes. Never.
I'm a lettuce onion guy. Lettuce onion, but miss me with tomatoes. I'm not trying to have like fucking juicy fruits like on my.
Yeah, no, you just rather lawn clippings on your sandwich. I got it.
What's that?
You just rather have lawn clippings on your sandwich. I got it.
Yeah, lawn clippings.
Anyway, we're going to be
Clemens.
drinking Liquid Death. This is lovely mountain water. Some of it's sparkling, I'm to assume.
That's the non-sparkling.
Why don't you read the can, Tom?
I don't know. I've never had Liquid Death in my life. I
Read
heard
the
it's kind of
can.
like a ritual thing for you guys.
Yeah.
We
I
got
agree
three
with that.
options today. We have the standard mountain water. We have the standard sparkling water, and the relatively new to this year severed lime flavor. Right, Ethan and Bosco?
Right.
Right.
As
Yeah,
we
but
also have these three options, and we'll be sampling them today with you guys.
It will be off camera though.
Tom, have you ever had any of these before?
I've never had a single
Tom's
Liquid Death
never
in my
had Liquid
life.
Death before. Us Gravis, we are big Liquid Death consumers. I'm personally big in the sparkling variety.
Which
Evan
we-
enjoys the traditional mountain water.
What should we start with?
I'm starting with the severed lime because I want to try something new. that
Mine's
I
already
haven't had
almost
before.
gone.
Would you like to share one, or do you want to split one between us?
You're gonna
Because
shit.
I might not finish it if it's sparkling.
Then don't take a sparkling.
Then just don't start with the sparkling. When I'm done with
All right. We'll
I'll
do
finish
a
your
regular
sparkling
one.
when you get to it, but start with when you're going to finish. Jeez.
You're gonna be blown away.
So this is literally just water.
It's
Then
literally-
why is
no,
it like?
it's mountain water.
It's literally water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's
You
mountain
mean
water.
just water?
Can.
Come on,
You're
bro.
right, can.
Why did you invite us on this podcast?
Oh my god.
Right?
My life's different now. I have so many new emotions.
I like the severed lime a lot.
Cool.
Why
Happy
is it
for you,
severed?
Trevor.
Well,
I don't remember asking. But...
the head's not attached to the body, so it's been severed. The
Oh,
SAT word.
I lost mine.
Severed is not an SAT word.
Starts with
I'm
S.
gonna change. Ethan's
The
having a
neck was
word.
perforated.
Please hold.
Percolated.
I didn't think about. I forgot that Liquid Death was the thing today. So I have the next best thing.
Oh, do you have Liquid Death merch?
Hey.
You you have a Liquid Death hat on?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I was going to wear my shirt with long sleeves.
There's a mountain on my shirt.
Like that's where
It's
the
like
water came
mountain
from.
water,
That's where
yeah.
the water came from.
Yeah.
I'm sponsored for Bass Pro Shop. All the fish swim in Liquid Death, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Especially fish piss.
This is
Yeah.
actually that's the severed lime.
Yeah.
Yeah, fish just swim in their own piss, and then we there's that company that cans it and
Yeah.
calls it Liquid Death, and then we drink it.
It's a weird marketing campaign, but it's
Yeah.
pretty good.
It works.
They really just position themselves in this really niche part of the market. It's really
I back it.
Most money I've ever spent on water, that's for sure.
Yeah.
for sure. I will say it really does like scratch that itch of like if you're not trying to have alcohol for some reason. I should
Especially for the sparkling variety.
Yeah, like it really does scratch the itch of like, you know, popping a can and like feeling like you're not
Cracking
really
open a cold one.
you know?
With the boys.
Yeah.
It's great. It's really great.
Can I steal a sip of that?
Yes.
I'll waterfall it for you. Don't worry.
You can do whatever you want. I don't.
I think when we
Don't spend the
death in our meetings as opposed to fears, we became a better band.
Yeah, I think things really picked up after
Yeah,
that.
things got productive.
Oh, you know what? That's not too bad.
Yeah, I have one if you want one.
It's like a seltzer, but with nothing cool about it.
I think you messed up the nothing cool about it part.
What?
You were right when you said seltzer.
Mhm.
The part about nothing being, it's like seltzer, but everything's cool.
Well, there's no alcohol.
Oh, I didn't know
mean,
you
like a
meant
hard
alcohol.
seltzer.
Yes,
Seltzer.
dude, drinking is cool, kids. If you're out there listening,
I thought you were like saying
go
this is
steal
like
a beer
this
from
is
your
like-
parents.
I thought you were saying this is like polar seltzer, but not cool. 'cause
Make
it
sure
is
you
the-
drive.
It is polar seltzer.
That's what I thought he was talking about. I was like, what's the fucking difference? Like,
Yeah, what
It's
about
literally
this?
just a
This is
regular
like
seltzer.
extra cool.
I've never had one. It was cool. Anyway, we're gonna be talking about music today, actually.
no.
So
It's got electric lights.
it's really interesting. I met these fellows over at the one and only University of Hartford, and we kind of became friends. We performed. We did a couple shows together where we did like the Alice in Chains show and the
second Alice in Chains.
the second Alice in Chains show and the Foo Fighters show, and it was definitely a lot of fun. And then
Ghost, kind of.
And Ghost.
That's
Black-
right.
And Black Sabbath.
I don't. Oh yeah, that's
The
right.
4 shows we're talking about were only 2 shows.
Yes, that is true. Wait, 3.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's kind of how we became friends. I mean, Bosco and I were in Hawkapella together. That's right, for a year. That was a lot of
There
fun.
goes Tom reliving the glory days, Tom.
And then that funny, cool disease went and spread around. It's
Funny,
little.
cool.
It was really interesting disease went and swept the nation, and haven't seen the boys since. But that's kind of how we became friends, and I think that's right around the time you guys started doing, or at least developing the band and starting to record things. So tell me a little bit about the origins, because I feel like I missed out on that one. Whoever wants to go. I don't know.
Bosco, I'm going to defer to you on this one.
Okay. We started hanging out because we started playing together, and then we started messaging each other virtually, and then we started talking about music, and then we started talking about writing our own music, and then we started writing our own music, and that's what happened.
I couldn't have said it better.
You really nailed that one.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything more to be said.
This is gonna go poorly.
I think that's the interview. I think that's all we got. But no, we started like, you know, meeting on Zoom and shit, and like talking stuff out, and like kind of developing what we wanted all of this to be, or what we wanted this to be for all of us in terms of like the kinds of music we wanted to channel. And yeah, it's just we started doing that over Zoom, and I don't think it really would have happened if COVID wasn't a thing.
Yeah, like I remember, like we had played so many like shows and stuff, worked on projects and stuff together at school that like, oh yeah, we also did like my like capstone project was with a lot of these guys and stuff. So like, we knew that like the 4 of us were like a good rhythm section together. Like we just like playing and you know, kind of being like the backing band for these like album shows and stuff. And we knew we wanted to write stuff, and we were like, oh well, that's probably just like not gonna happen once we graduate, I guess. And then we were kind of like, ah, ship has sailed. But then with COVID, it was like, oh, everything's going remote now. It's like, I guess we could do remote stuff. Like it just like wouldn't have occurred to us otherwise. But so kind of a silver lining moment, you know.
I feel like we started just sending riffs to each other. Like we didn't even talk about doing anything serious. We were just sending stuff.
Yeah, we just like
be like, hey, this
pretty
is sick.
naturally. Yeah. And then I remember like once we started having the Zoom meetings, like I think it was pretty impressive that, you know, for a bunch of goons, we were like sitting down and like taking notes on like, okay, what's our literal like we had like I remember having a Google Doc to have like artistic vision of like what do we want this to, like, you know, what's gonna be the role of the vocals in our music, what kind of stuff we're trying to channel, like all this like detailed shit, and then we haven't missed a meeting in like 2 years, like every week. It's crazy.
That is pretty crazy.
And they're always so productive.
Oh, yeah.
Every single one.
Yeah, just because we show up to meetings doesn't mean anything gets done, but we show up.
People attend.
Yeah.
And
we put in the time.
Yeah, even if it's 10% of it that's productive, something happens.
Yeah.
Even just to hang is valuable, though. You know?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's an interesting like writing process to get done over Zoom, and especially because you guys aren't really like in the same state anymore.
Yeah,
you know,
we should tell the audience who doesn't know about us how distant we are.
Yes.
I'm in Connecticut.
I'm in Mass. I'm New
While you're in
Hampshire.
Connecticut.
Well, I'm in Connecticut now, but I lived in New Hampshire for the bulk of the writing. But now I'm in Mass.
Yeah.
I'm in Northwest Jersey.
And I'm in New York. And also for some of the recording process, I was like on gigs. I remember I recorded background vocals for Wormholes, like from a hotel in like, I don't know, fucking Iowa or something. Like,
That's pretty cool.
Real, yeah. Oh,
So-
Slipknot.
Yeah,
Kind of
we're
channel some
basically-
Slipknot.
we're
Yeah, we're
basically-
basically, yeah.
Okay.
That's what we're trying to say. Yeah.
So, you know, especially in like a once in a lifetime pandemic, trying to record across different parts of the nation, I'm sure is pretty difficult. So
You're quite the interviewer, Tom.
I don't know how to do interviews. I'm such shit.
You want to close
interview.
that window?
Yeah, sure.
Tom, you're doing great, bud.
Thank you.
I thought that was
I thought that was leading to a great question. I was
Yeah.
saying,
I just like throwing a wrench at things.
It was just like, we're shutting this down just like a Gravis meeting.
He's getting way too productive.
I don't like this.
I'll talk
Actual
about dicks in a
work
little
ideas are
bit.
being expressed enough.
Yeah, guys, this is scary. I don't.
This is scary. I'm too real right now.
You want to close that window too, or is it okay?
That window should be fine.
Okay.
This is.
You guys have such better lighting than us. It's not fair.
Yeah.
We have 2 different ring lights going.
Oh, that's nice.
It is. Yeah.
And we
I
have.
only have this light, and I have no natural light in my apartment.
It's fine. It's not the
We're
most
not using natural light.
prestigious
We have the
thing.
natural light cut off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
As you were saying, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really a deep question, but like, talk about some of the struggles you guys have faced, like just recording over such a long distance. I feel like that would be a pretty difficult thing to do.
Well, I think we could talk about when we first started, we did it differently and a little more intensive than I think we did the rest of the record. When we started out, we would all 4 of us would be present on like a Zoom meeting, and then we would have one person would be tracking their instrument, guitar or bass or whatever, and another person would be controlling their DAW from that person's computer. So for example, Bosco would be tracking guitars in Logic. We'd all be present on Zoom, all listening via Audio Movers, great piece of software. And then Evan, for example, could be on his computer controlling Bosco's Logic. So Evan's hitting record in New Hampshire, so Bosco in New Jersey can focus on just playing guitar as if we're in the same room.
And we'd all be we'd be getting a screen share of Bosco's screen, so we would see Evan's mouse clicks on Logic or whatever. And
Yeah.
shit, yeah, it was
Wow.
really convoluted.
Yeah, while listening to everything in real time. And while I'm glad we did that, it was really valuable because it put us all on the same page as far as a standard for what we're recording and like the quality that things need to be as far as how tightly things are played and like, are you getting a good signal, but it sucked. It really sucked.
It was so slow.
The software was pretty CPU intensive at times, and like dealing with internet connections of 4 different people in totally different places.
It was clunky, but it was like,
Yeah.
but yeah, like Trevor said, it got us all on the same page. Like we know what the standards are, and then after doing that for like a handful of sessions, then it kind of just became like, okay, guys, like we know what would be shot down by like we know what's like up to par and stuff like that. So we would just go home and do it ourselves and send it out. Like
It was pretty much just Wormholes we did like that, right?
pretty much.
Yeah,
I
we
remember
started
tracking
with the welder.
I remember tracking the welder like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think we tried to start either Oatsy or Pando like that, and then ended up.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was like, I can't do this. Trevor, you have to play it.
This stupid Oatsy.
Stupid
Dumb
song.
Dumb riff. Only a bass player can write that.
Maybe. Does that answer your question?
Kind of. Yeah, pretty much.
Basically, it got way more streamlined the more we did it. We
Yeah.
tracked everything individually. We'd send it and be like, no, that sucks. Do it again. Or, no, that's good.
Yeah, it became more of a back and forth instead of because getting everyone to meet at the same time, just physically be together at the same time is enough of a challenge. So
Right.
it really sped things up to do stuff on our own time individually, and then just give feedback. Oh, this gets a green light, or oh, you need to redo this a little bit right here.
Also, I do want to point out that we've only played this stuff like in the same room together once.
That's what I was just about to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we did do that right before
We started
we
recording.
started recording. Was that April
And it
2021?
May. It was May
Very
1st,
beginning of May.
2021.
May.
That we considered that, I think, kind of like, it was like, okay, we were done writing. It was like the last part of like pre-production sort of, where it's like, okay, we're going to try this out in real life. And I think I remember we even like kind of fleshed out a couple little moments of arrangements and stuff live. Like by doing it live, we realized like, oh, we need a like better transition here or whatever. So that was like a good way to kind of like quality check it, you know?
Where'd you guys record like together? Or not record, where'd you play together?
Ethan's basement.
Ethan's basement.
Yeah, my
Nice.
parents' basement.
And it was sick.
It was really fucking loud for like 2 days straight. Like,
It's really dumb
yeah,
and sweaty.
it was loud, and then also we were playing pretty loud.
Yeah.
Like, we just all yell at each other all the time.
Yeah, it's really an unhealthy form of communication that we have. Yelling and insults, there's really no, like, it really doesn't dip below that.
Yeah. Living with both of these guys, there is a level of understanded chaos that you kind of have to just deal with. And then it becomes natural to you. I've noticed that.
Yeah,
That's
and next thing you know, you just
better
hate
word than
everybody else in the band, you know?
Yeah. When you would bring like a kiddie pool into our apartment and then just fill it with soap and then slide around in it. So yeah. It came with the living, but you know.
You embraced it.
I became it.
You became it.
Sometimes you gotta
Owned
just
by it.
Now you own it.
sometimes you gotta just stack the furniture, you know.
We definitely stacked and flipped the furniture more than once.
I'd want to change it like every week. Like guys are changing the apartment. I can't do this anymore.
We have to move everything around right now, and then turn all the lights on to seizure mode.
Guessing the gain there, Trevor?
What?
Guessing the gain?
Yeah, just the gain. Get a little more on-access gain.
The old-fashioned way.
Yeah. A good old-fashioned.
Yeah, before you guys and your Pro Tools, our gain now.
So this is a very basic, generic question, but I feel like there's a lot of different styles of influence all over this album. Describe them, all of them.
Well, what did you hear first of all?
So
Outside
I'm not a crazy
Not
like
to put you
metal
on the
guy.
spot, but you're on the spot now. So.
You're not, so I was never a big like metal guy. Usually when I go to the gym, I'll listen to metal, but not too much outside of it. I have listened to this at the gym, and it did help me get an extra rep or two.
Hell
So
yeah.
thanks for that. And I wasn't a big Tool guy, but I feel like I got some level of like Tool vibes on this album,
For sure.
and also like a little bit of Alice in Chains in some of the vocals.
We hate both those bands.
Yeah.
You actually couldn't be more off. No, that's
No,
like
you're
fucking
like
spot
spot on though, yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
You're
I would
probably
put
the
like
biggest
Gojira and Meshuggah in there.
Oh, okay.
Too.
Yeah.
In terms of like the like fucking like chuggier, you know, kind of riffs. Like,
Yeah. I'd say those are probably like the four we kind of all overlap with,
Mhm.
and then
I
obviously
think
we all.
one of the interesting elements of like, I don't think all of us necessarily were channeling this when we wrote, but I think that a band that we were very similar to is Mastodon in like our structure, because they have like 3 lead vocalists and 2 rhythm guitars, bass, drums, and like I don't think we necessarily sound like them. And I wasn't really trying to channel Mastodon in any of my writing.
And I don't know Mastodon that well at all.
Yeah. So I've always thought that was an interesting way that kind of turned out, and that we all, we were trying to lock in on Tool, Alice, Meshuggah, and Gojira, and like that's kind of what ended up happening is like this kind of like conglomeration of those, which I don't think Mastodon sounds dissimilar to any of those, but it always interested me to kind of realize we ended up landing somewhere in that range.
Yeah, it's funny how like like, while not trying to channel their influences, like, super intentionally, like, coming from, or channel Mastodon as an influence, like, coming from probably similar influences as them.
Yeah.
With a similar lineup, it kind of ends up, like, totally, like, different, but, like, it's like, oh, there's, like, some notable similarities because of, like, the common influences and stuff.
Yeah.
Not to put our name in Mastodons in the same sentence, but, like, you know.
Yeah. I mean, you want to have your own sound, obviously, but I mean, I feel like with any artist, you just kind of draw off of what you've been listening to. You know, I've noticed that with pretty much everyone, so I understand.
That's the way.
And I think too, like when especially like I was saying, like we're having those conversations of like artistic vision. It was like pretty intentional sometimes in like what quality, like the tangible qualities of each of those influences that we tried to channel. Like we intentionally were thinking about like Alice in Chains vocals, like we, you know, things like stacked fourths, like, you know, legato melodies and stuff like that in harmony. Like a lot of our songs, like the vocal melodies is kind of like dyads, like, you know, and then I don't know, other parts of like Meshuggah, for example, is like their rhythmic approach. Like it's like very like specific things about it that we were trying to do, you know. I think Gojira maybe tone wise, I don't know, is that probably accurate?
Yeah, I think that's accurate.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Never mind.
No. Continue.
I don't have anything to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have
Evan,
anything?
you have to say something right now.
Yeah.
Evan, I have a quick. Can I interview Evan real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Evan, if you could say one thing, what would it be?
You know, I've probably, you know, I think about it for a while, and you know, maybe if I had thought about it and then used my brain to think about it, I'd probably say,
A man of few words. I love it. So soft spoken. I had like a game plan going into this, and you guys just kind of like threw it off.
Good job, guys.
Oh, sorry, Tom.
get back on the game plan, Tom.
So tell me about track listing. I love the way that track lists are laid out and tell a story. Did you do it intentionally, or did you just kind of say fuck it and
no,
throw
we
caution
threw
to
them
the
all in
wind?
a hat, and we picked them out, and that's the order we put the album
Okay.
in.
We should do that for the next
We
one.
totally should.
You have
I
an
think
actual
that,
I think that's probably one of those two.
one of the big like factors in that was when we started working with lyrics, we kind of realized there was like some similar themes, kind of nature-y bullshit. You notice them here and there, and I think once that became clearer and more focused, I wouldn't say this was like super imperative in the track listing, but in the overall vibe we were shooting for. It's like it's not quite a concept record, but like again, there's a lot of like similar themes to what, you know, lyrics were talking about, and I mean, I think there's only a couple examples of that, of songs that we wanted like in this order, but beyond that, I think that, you know, trying to get a good balance of like push and pull was huge for us in terms of like, you know, the overall track listing, and because you know there's a lot of different vibes that we have working for us throughout, and I think that it was really important for us to like. I mean, we didn't end up spending like a ton of time doing it because they kind of ended up falling pretty naturally, which was really nice because that would have been a pain in the ass if we were struggling to, you know, come to agreement on a track list. But yeah, I mean, it was a good push and pull, and there were certain songs that we felt would hit harder later in the record or earlier in the record.
Do you guys remember when we thought Pando would be the last song? Because I feel like that was the first, like, coming up with set list, that was the first one that we agreed upon, like, oh, Pando should be last.
It was like pretty early.
I think that's because we
finished
kind of have the loose trilogy of like Lasting, Fertile Ground, and Pando are kind of like, well, not in that order. Fertile Ground, Lasting, Pando are kind of like 3 chapters, I guess, very loosely.
Very loosely.
So we kind of knew Pando was at the end of that, but I don't remember when we actually decided that it was the end of the record.
Yeah, me neither. But Ethan's right. I think it was pretty early on. And
it was like the first like track list decision. I feel like
it was before we were done writing all of it. Like
yeah. We're just like, this one's just probably the closer, right? Like,
Yeah, I think we kind of half intentionally, half unintentionally shaped the rest of the track listing around that. Like first starting with that trilogy of Fertile Ground being like the intro to Pando, and then Lasting coming in there, and then all the other songs were kind of filling in around that. What would like lead up to that in the best way with that push and pull on an individual track by track basis.
So I don't think we actually explained like what each of you do in the band. So go around and say.
Yeah, I'd love to hear this actually.
Because there's also, I assume there's parts where you guys didn't do like what you usually like. I heard Ethan say he did backing vocals. So I wanted to.
I did some leads too, which is the first time I've ever done that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll go around and say everything you do on the album.
Everything.
Everything.
Okay.
Yeah. Trevor should start. He did the most.
Okay. Did I?
Yes,
I think I did actually.
Yeah, you definitely did.
So I played bass. I do most of the yelled like harsh vocals.
Mm-hmm.
Played guitar on Oatsy and one riff in Pando.
The like breakdown riff in Pando.
One riff in Pando.
Oh really? Which one? The
Stick clicks.
Yeah.
You guys ever hear a guitar?
it sounded kind of like Tom Sawyer, man.
and I mixed it, if that counts. That's everything.
Sure.
No, it doesn't count.
I think that counts.
I play guitar. I play guitar. I did most of the leads, and probably half the leads I'd say, and then I did all like the guitar like pre-production and stuff, all the tones and everything. Reamping and that kind of thing.
Do we want to tell people like which songs were written by who and like which songs you recorded rhythms, which songs Bosco did rhythms?
I have no problem with that.
Yeah, we can get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit.
Yeah, let's go back to that.
Yeah, we'll circle back.
Yeah, Bosco, what did you do?
I recorded rhythm guitar. I guess there are a couple leads I did. I did some clean vocals. I got one scream in there. I wrote a good chunk of the lyrics.
Was it an exhale scream?
It was an inhale scream. It's a talent I've been honing since I was like 16.
Let's hear it.
No.
You want to hear it? Go listen to Submerged.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nice
plug.
I think that's about all I did. I can't think of anything else that I did.
You
The
played
acoustic guitar.
I did acoustic guitar as well. What was that, Evan?
You played the only acoustic guitar on the album.
I was about to
Yeah,
ask
I
that too.
did the acoustic guitar on the record as well.
Yeah. Let's see. I did the drums for everything, and I did a lot of the background vocals to Bosco's clean lead vocals, and then I did a few clean lead vocals that Bosco did background cleans on. And I guess I part of the like editing process, like I tracked a lot of the vocals and like edited and tuned vocals and stuff before sending to Trevor. Trevor had so much to do. I was trying to hopefully take a little bit of a load off his plate.
And you did.
So I did all the drum editing too. Yeah.
You did some lyrics too.
Oh yeah. I wrote a few lyrics. Well, yeah, we can get into like who wrote what if we want. Should we go back? Start here.
Yeah, circle back.
Yeah.
A
So.
little snake drum.
Wait, are we gonna go on a track by track thing?
Yeah, we can.
Let's do that when we go track by track. We'll say
Okay, yeah.
who this song started out. But do you want to talk about while we're talking about what we do, like finish up the recording process and talk about like the order we did things in?
Sure.
Because it was a little unconventional.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. How about let's start with, so we didn't do drums first. So Ethan, talk about like.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Well,
Ethan, talk about the process of getting like our scratch drums.
Yes, so that was actually per suggestion from Kobe Nelson, who's the studio manager over at the Hart School. Yeah, he ain't dead. He's just awesome.
He's not
Yeah. He was a friend of ours from UHart. He is on the faculty there. Or staff or whatever. He runs the studio and.
Did we all have him?
No, Bosco didn't. He was the like my main mentor like in my program. I know you guys had a class or two with them. And he has a lot of experience with metal stuff. Like he's on he has credits on like some of the Mice and Men records and stuff. Like before he went into teaching, he was working at what's that place called? House of Loud, and like did a bunch of stuff there. So we like picked his brain a bit about like the process, especially doing it remotely. And what we ended up doing is like part of the writing process was that we were recording all this stuff, and various ones of us would record like the guitars or the basses or whatever. But like I always was the one doing the drums, even if it like maybe started with some programmed drums. I would kind of take a look at that and like either emulate that or tweak it a little bit or whatever. And so I had these like demo drum tracks to all of our demos as we were writing, that before we started recording any of the songs for final takes, I went into those demos and I edited all of the drums like pretty like in like big chunks. Like it wasn't meant to be like necessarily super clean sounding. Like the edits were like kind of bad and like not good because like I wasn't tracking with that in mind. They were just like the demos. But I went in and at least like aligned everything to the grid so that it was at least a like perfect drum part for them to track to for the guitars and the bass and stuff like that. So they recorded, so these guys recorded to those, so it was at least the right parts, the right drum parts and stuff, and like right on the click. So they weren't just recording to a click track, they were recording to like the drum part. But then once they had that, then it was like, okay, sweet, now we have these like really tight, solid takes of final guitars and bass and even some vocals and stuff that were recorded to these like perfect drums that were just like filled with like clicks and pops from the edits. So then once I had those guitar stuff, then I went and recorded drums to those already like pretty darn tight like guitars and basses. Because of that, we like kind of did a concentric circle thing, kind of did the drums twice in a way. Mm-hmm. Made us that it was like tighter. And then yeah, so drums were last basically, with the exception of like some vocals and
Oh wow. That was deep. I love it. I love the explanations. When you're talking about singles, what made you want to choose like, because Wormholes was the first one to come out, right?
Yeah, way before everything else. We were kind of, things were still going real slow at that point, so we were kind of panicking. It was like we just need to put something out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
That was literally the only reasoning.
Well, yes and no. It was the first one out because it was the first one ready, but we chose to finish that one first because we wanted to put it out first too.
Okay.
Right? Am I remembering right?
Yeah. If we felt like it was the most like palatable, like it kind of like was the best single like snapshot of us you could have in terms of like it's heavy, but it's like a fairly like reasonable one. Like it's not like going on super long with instrumental shit. Like
yeah. And what other single was it? Submerge? Was that a single?
Submerge
Yep.
was the second one, and then Endless. Yeah.
Oh, okay. What made you go with those as singles? Was it for the same reason, or were you
I think
mostly
so,
on?
and that they encapsulated like kind of a big picture of what our sound of the record would be like.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Submerge was like a little proggier than Wormholes. So we're like, okay, let's kind of open up our audience to that part of our sound a little more. Mm-hmm. And then with Endless, I mean, I think that song just fucking rips and sounds like a single.
Yeah.
And like it like really overwhelmingly positive response to that one in particular.
Yeah, that seems to be the favorite so far, I think.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have you looked at our Spotify numbers?
I mean, they're all less than 1,000, I think.
No, I just mean like.
no offense. I mean, obviously, it just came out.
I just mean like it still puts them in order of highest to lowest.
On Apple.
Wormholes is first.
Yeah, Wormholes is first, but Pando is second on
Remember off the top
Apple.
of my head.
On Apple, the starred ones for me are OC, Endless, and Welder.
You sure it's not Pando?
I'm sure.
Yeah, you have your phone.
Get off your phone!
I'm looking it
Is
up.
that the 6S? I love
The 4S.
my mom had a
Wormholes, OC, Lasting, Submerge, Sleep
Okay.
on Spotify.
For me, I've got Wormholes. Oh wait, it just switched in front of me.
That's the album cover.
Now
Yeah,
it's
that's what we're looking at.
Submerged, Welder, and Pando.
Yeah,
but when I opened it, it was Wormholes, Endless, Pando.
They put stars next to the popular one.
Oh, I didn't know
On
that.
Apple.
Okay, no, this something must be up here because on on Spotify, maybe there's like not enough data, but like on Spotify, I click popular and then like more, and endless is last.
Yeah.
So that doesn't feel right.
What about Amazon Music? What's
different
top
types
on that
of people
one?
listen to different platforms.
I
That's
get
true.
that now.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, based on like people's responses we've heard, like endless seems to be a favorite for sure.
That's pretty good. I like that one a lot. Well, I guess if we're talking about favorites, and I know it's hard to choose, but what do you think your favorite track on the album is? And I guess we can go from each person, I guess.
You
I have
first?
two
Yeah.
answers.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, you can. Don't say, "Oh, I love them all. They're all my children. I can't kill them all."
I hate to say Pando because I wrote it, but I'm between like Pando and the Welder. The Welder's my favorite to play. Like as a bass player, as a musician, Welder gets me the most excited. But I think my favorite, like listening back, I think I like Pando the most.
I think my favorite two moments are end of Endless and the end of Submerged.
I would agree.
I think overall it's probably I keep going back to Submerged. I don't know why.
Mm.
It's just so good.
I would say Submerged, but I wrote it. So to remove that bias, I would go with the Welder. Because I think that one's heavy as fuck.
Yeah, my knee-jerk reaction is Welder, but I wrote that, so to remove that bias, I think, yeah, probably Pando, honestly. Yeah, I think, and also, but part of why I like the Welder so much is I think that's, in a way, I think that might be my favorite mix from Trevor.
The Welder?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, like, and again, maybe there is some bias there because I feel like you just like nailed what I had, like envisioned for it, like especially like the Tom section in the middle, like is a spot. But yeah, but I think probably Pando, honestly, because that's just, I mean, fuck.
I might agree with you on the mix on Welder. Actually, yesterday I was really bored, and I spent time just listening through trying to see which one I thought the mix sounded better, or sounded best, and it was definitely between Pando, Welder, Submerged, kind of Wormholes. But like, Welder does sound really, really good.
It's interesting how you all kind of said like a handful of each track, because I think my favorite was either Sleep or Lasting. I think were two of my favorites.
Really?
I don't think you guys.
Interesting, because those two are like kind of the more
Relatively.
longer, drawn out one. A lot more instrumental fuckery going on. Like,
Yeah,
sweet.
I thought it had more of a cool. It was like a cooler
They're
flow. to
very
it.
dynamic.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, good word.
Oh, big word.
Oh, SAT words. Oh, it's severed. So, you said you've only played live once, but
No.
or together.
We only played together once.
Okay.
Same room.
You've never played
That's
live
correct,
before.
yes.
Well, yeah, as with this music.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Yeah,
with this
Gravis
album.
songs.
Yes. But if I'm not mistaken, you do have a live show coming up pretty soon. If I'm not mistaken.
You're mistaken.
You are mistaken.
Oh, you don't?
No, it was supposed to be June 10th, and just for a few reasons, we didn't.
Oh.
Didn't happen, yeah.
Okay. Well.
Now June 25th.
On the
I
Hops and
paid for
Bobs
it.
podcast. Well, do you have plans to do another show coming up, or no?
I mean, it's always something
We have
I think we want to do.
plans to
It's just-
plan a show.
Yeah.
You know?
Plans to plan.
We
It's,
plan on planning a show.
That's it.
it's. I mean, for the same reason that recording was kind of weird. It's hard to get us all in the same spot.
Yeah.
Like Bosco, I don't know. I'm like 5 hours from Bosco.
Yeah.
2 hours.
Evan
from
and I are
Trevor, 4
the
hours.
furthest for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
just if we all work, so
Yeah, that's another wrinkle in the plans.
Like, if we were all in the same town and could, like, play together, like, once a week or something, but, like, we haven't all had our instruments in the same room since May of 2021, so,
Yes.
like, it's just, if we were to do a show, that was part of the issue with our show that we had, was, like, we could hardly even get a separate time to, like, rehearse, you know what I mean, because, just, like, the logistics of it is kind of tough with all of our locations, so.
eventually it'll happen.
Yes, eventually it will happen.
It will.
No timetable.
Okay.
Yeah, shot that one down real quick, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Have you tried the other liquid death though?
Yeah.
The regular sparkling water?
That's
Yeah.
still gonna be my go-to, I think.
Can I crack it open and try it?
Yeah, go for it. I got
Okay.
that for you.
You got this for me?
Yeah.
Can you sign this for me?
He doesn't know how to write his own name.
Yeah.
Just put an X on it. Oh, it's like mountain water if you had CO2.
That's exactly what they do. That's their process.
It's straight
Don't
from the
give it away.
Alps.
Yeah. It says it on the side of the can.
I don't know about murder your thirst. That seems a little extra.
Well, I mean, do you want to stay thirsty or do you want to murder your thirst?
I don't want to murder it, but I want to like.
You're
Push-
gonna get thirsty again. Like,
I'll assault my
for
thirst.
A run, go out in the warm weather. You'll sweat. You'll get thirsty again. But like when you're done being thirsty, you just want to murder your thirst.
I just want to murder. Period.
Yeah.
When a group of teenagers set off into the mountains for a weekend of drinking regular water and
Stop
plastic
reading
bo-
that.
I was wondering how long we'd be like, doing well.
Thank you guys for coming on the show. Oh,
Good job,
Now it's
bud.
starting.
now it's starting.
Yeah.
What the fucking chaos?
The interview.
This is the real beginning. That was all just a
All right,
warm
Tom,
up.
you ready to press record now?
Welcome to 92. Fuck, we done 92 episodes. Anyway, I feel weird like rating the album because like
Tom, rate it, dude.
That's good.
Please rate it.
we
We
feel
feel
no, I'm
weird.
kidding.
Possibly hurt our feelings.
No, like seriously, honest.
No, it
opinion.
was good. I really did enjoy it. It's just like my personal preference. Like I'm not a huge metal guy. There are some that I'll get into now and then. Like even Evan and I like will text every now and then. I'll be like, give me an album, and then he'll like text me
I'll
something
just
to
send you the
listen to.
same Nails album every time.
I fucking love Nails. Nails is great.
Yeah, here's On Silent Death again.
I love You'll Never Be One of Us. That's like one of my favorite
Yeah.
albums. by them.
Violence is forever.
Never be one of us. But you know, I enjoyed it. It was definitely interesting to listen to at the gym. Like I said, it definitely gave me an extra rep. But like, would I play it, you know, in front of my grandmother? That might kill her.
Is that how you judge? Like,
She's
how
frail.
You, like, are all the albums that you label 10 like perfect for your grandmother? Is this how the scale works? On
Well,
a
what
scale
have I
of
given a
0
10?
to will I show my grandmother this?
Oh, you gave that Blood Simple album
Fucking Blood Simple. That album was trash.
Not a good record in my opinion.
No, I gave that like a 1.5. I think.
It's generous.
No.
It has great production.
Yeah, because Will Putney and Machine did it.
Drums sound amazing.
What?
The drums on that Blood Simple record sound amazing. I would give it a 2 just because it had great production.
Ugh. I did like it though. I would probably give it like a 7.5. I think it was
will
definitely
take that.
enjoyable for most of it.
From a non-metalhead, I'll take
Yes,
that for sure.
absolutely.
Exactly.
That's
yeah.
a lot higher than I was expecting. You're being nice, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, of course. But no, it was actually very listenable and enjoyable. And you know, there are metal albums I've listened to like Blood Simple that I just would not. I would be straight up if I didn't like it. You know, I'm not gonna kiss your ass at the same time, but you know, you are my friends. So that it's that extra half point. You know,
All right, so sad.
Okay.
it's a set. All right, fine.
Tom,
it's a
would you
set.
kiss my face?
I would if you were here.
What?
I'd open mouth like.
Okay.
All right. So,
It's a passing
Okay.
grade.
Long Dead is out now. It's on every streaming service you've ever imagined.
And some others too.
Yes.
the ones in my
Maybe ones
mind.
you haven't thought of yet.
Are you going track by track or no?
You can go track by track. Yeah, I forgot about that.
I want to do that.
Go track by track, starting with
I
Wormholes.
don't remember what order they're in.
Wormholes.
Your album, you know what we're doing?
Wormhole.
What are we talking about with these
Wormhole
track by track?
TVs.
What's
A little bit of
singles?
who wrote it, maybe who wrote music, who wrote lyrics.
Yeah.
A little bit about what it's about. I don't know.
Yeah. Go into what it's about as well. I think that's good insight.
All right,
Okay.
so I wrote the music for Wormholes, and I
We're males.
Wormholes.
Wormholes.
Bird.
I wrote,
Yeah. Oh yes, wormholes. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Greg Wee.
Greg.
No, I wrote the music for Wormholes, and honestly, I don't even know what the lyrics are.
I wrote the lyrics.
I was so uninvolved with the lyrics. Ethan can probably speak to that.
So our lovely artist that did our album art and our logo, Taylor Casey, she's fucking rad. Her work is so cool. And looking at a lot of her stuff, there was always these like fucking like portal looking things like in her stuff. And when we were looking through her work and trying to figure out what we wanted in our album cover, we were like, yeah, whatever those like black hole motherfuckers are, like we want that somewhere in our album cover. It's like the knot in the tree, you know what I mean, on the record. So like, that's a hand painting by Taylor Casey. So that like knot in the tree is like this like black hole thing that shows up a lot in her work. And I asked her about it, like we were getting the artwork done and stuff, and she's like, "Oh yeah, it's like called the Wormhole." And it's like, "Oh, sick!" And she told me she had this like whole concept for that and why it's in a lot of her pieces and things. And it's like wormholes, and I don't know. It's a lot about like our perceptions of like reality and like all this stuff. And it's this whole like concept that she had that she worked in everything. We thought it was really cool, so we were like, "Oh my god, we got to write a song about that." So then we did.
Oh, so it came from the album art and not like from anything else. That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
Wormholes is literally based on inspired from our artist. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the album art.
Because the explanation that she gave us, like,
Just link down.
we were like, oh, that's like the most metal shit we've ever heard. That's sick.
Yeah.
Why didn't we think of that?
Definitely be using Taylor again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Taylor Casey art,
Go follow her.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Instagram.
IG.
Then
Cool.
you can go into what Submerge I think was next.
Submerge.
Yeah.
That's a Bosco song.
Submerge, the main riff is like the first Gravis riff I ever wrote. I wrote it in like May of 2020. And yeah. And then Ethan and I jammed on that at his old house like right before I moved to New Jersey. Like literally like 3 days before that.
Oh, that's right, in Connecticut. Oh fuck.
Yeah. And then so that the arrangement on that one was quite hefty, but Ethan had a really big hand in eventually like helping morph all these bullshit riffs that I had. And Ethan had a really big hand in in working on the arrangement of that, which was super helpful. And then the lyrics I wrote, as with most of the lyrics I wrote for the record, they're about anxiety, and it's about how like you're underwater and like the pressure of everything on top of you is just like it's a lot, like big even, and
So true.
and but yeah, it's just about how like you got all these bunch of metal buzzwords and just fucking creepy shit, and I thought that the sinister sound of it really like enhanced what I was shooting for. Goddamn, yeah, that's it. That's what I have to say about that.
That was lovely.
And the 13 riff at the end.
Yes.
That's
Dumb time signature bullshit, but the ending riff is like the stupidest shit that's ever come out of my brain.
Can confirm.
Yeah, it's
That's not
really
true
dumb.
at all.
So Otzi.
Yes,
Track
Goatsy is
3,
next.
Otzi is the only instrumental on the record. I think we decided that because we just couldn't picture vocals anywhere on it. And I didn't write it thinking it would be an instrumental. I just wrote it to write something dumb, and it wound up that vocals just kind of weren't going to work with it. I think my focus was I just wanted to write riffs that weren't really focused on notes I was playing and more on kind of sounds and feelings. Like that very first riff, like it's me like frantically moving my finger up and down the fretboard.
What motion are you doing?
Frantically moving my finger up and down the fretboard.
Don't be rude.
And it's just a lot of like boom, 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 you know. It's like
yeah.
It's
Yeah. You have that other song that
I
sounds like
don't know.
that.
The first riff is kind of like clowny to me. Like it's kind of circusy sounding. Like
A circus bass.
yeah, it's got like chromatic stuff going on, and I don't know. It was experimental on my part, and how do we come up with the name? I don't remember.
We were talking.
Because
You
we
were
call it
talking
the
about.
Caveman.
You were reading about the Iceman they were found in Mount
Yeah.
Everest or something.
Did it have
Otzi, the
did
Iceman.
that song have like a rough name, or did I call it Otzi?
I think you
from
called it
the
Otzi
start?
from the beginning.
Yeah, I think that was meant to like not be the finished name, but then I think Bosco convinced me that we should keep calling it that.
Well, it's because we kept calling it like the caveman music. Because like it was so like
That's what it was. Okay.
lumbery and
Yeah.
dumb. And then I was like, oh, there's a caveman.
No offense
with
to
a
any
name.
cavemen that listen.
Yeah.
We're gonna lose our caveman sponsorship for this.
Yeah.
But yeah, Otzi was this guy, this like cryogenically frozen dude. Not really cryogenically frozen. But
Not intentionally.
he
They
died
found
on
him
a mountain, and
in the
some guy
Alps.
just like stumbled across him, and was like, "Oh, science people, you guys are gonna want to check this bad boy out."
I was like,
Science people.
yeah, he's like
Have I
super well
seen this?
preserved in ice.
Check this shit out.
Yeah, like very very old corpse, and he actually like got shot with an arrow and died on the mountain because they found like a fucking like arrow wound in his chest. I think the arrow might have also been sticking
Yeah.
out. But
Poor
yeah,
guy.
I named him Otzi, and so we were like, "Oh, we got a song that sounds like that."
Yeah.
Who shot him?
What's next? Sleep.
Boatsy.
Goatsy.
Toby.
Sleep was, I think. Oh, so that one actually. The music was mostly me, with the exception of the chorus riff. Which was Bosco. Started as an 8-string riff.
I decided A strings are dumb and we shouldn't use it for the record. And then I
Too
sold
many
my A
strings. Yeah.
Trevor would just have a scene
that
where he
song-
saw it.
And that one, the lyrics, I did the lyrics, but Bosco tweaked them because not the best with lyrics. Bosco helps. And then, that one was like, I want a lot of contrast and stuff in the instrumental stuff. Definitely some, playing around with some just like fun syncopated rhythms and shit. And wanted to get like, I don't know, just kind of weird how that one came about. I think lyrically, that one was about like, I remember we had some like methods that we would use when we were writing. Like we had some like challenges for each other. Like we had like a few different processes of coming up with stuff. And I think actually sleep was a byproduct of a few of the like
Oh, that was a
challenges
mystery
we did.
riff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there was two parts of it actually. There was the opening riff. We did a challenge to like just spark some writing ideas of like I think I was told to write a riff and then come up with a drum part to it, and then send the guys only that drum part, and have them send a riff back. So I think we ended up using the riff that I did. I don't know. I forgot what happened to the riffs that came from that, but that was like a thing that was part of it. And actually, that riff I kind of knocked that from a Death song, from a Death guitar solo. There's like this one lick that I always liked. And I kind of like took those same notes and then just like put them in different key, time signature and shit. But and then the lyrics was another one where we were trying to like challenge each other. I think we all chose some lyric topics, but then you wrote about one of the ones that you didn't choose. And I think Trevor's was sleep. Trevor's thing was about like sleep or being tired or something, I feel like. And I wrote the lyrics. I might be misremembering that, but there's something like that.
Sounds about right.
But I remember like the task at hand was like to write something about sleep. And so the lyrics are about like a few different aspects of sleep that I also try to do in the music. Of like, sometimes it's this like kind of like manic, like, kind of running on fumes sort of thing. Sometimes it's just this like zenned out, fucking tired, just like no thoughts sort of, so a few different aspects of what it feels like to just be like overworked and exhausted. And
What's after that? Fertile Ground.
Fertile Ground.
So I wrote the guitar for that. I was just wanted to scratch my Alice in Chains Jar of Flies itch. And Trevor wrote the lyrics.
That's where the itch.
Yeah, there's the itch right in the middle of
That's
your
your
forehead.
third eye.
And yeah, Trevor wrote the lyrics for that one.
Did I actually?
And so that was kind of
really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I moved them around, but you made the words. I organized them.
Huh.
And so that was the start of like this trilogy that we were talking about of Fertile Ground, Lasting, and Pando, which I guess we'll talk more in depth about what Pando is when we get to Pando. But this is like the start of this birth, life, death cycle, and hence Fertile Ground, like we're planting the seeds, haha. And like this is birth, and it's all the lyrics are all about fucking like trees and shit. It's like that Rush song.
What's it called?
The trees.
The trees.
Fertile Ground.
I always
Yeah.
We have had Paul Simmons on the podcast multiple times.
Oh, Paul Simmons from Rush.
The bassist from Rush, Paul Simmons.
I have a story to tell you. I'll tell you after.
Oh, good.
Getty Paul Simmons.
So what's after that? Well, last.
Last thing is after
Yeah.
that one. Last thing is actually 2 demos I wrote that smashed together.
Mhm.
And I was like, how can I make these fit? So I just wrote a drum fill. Like there's a drum fill in the middle of it, and that's just where the 2 demos got smashed
Is
together.
it the drum
Okay.
fill where it goes?
Yeah, right before that.
It's
Yeah.
actually a pretty seamless drum fill. I totally forgot that's where. I knew they were 2 smashed together, but I forgot that was the point.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
The
I didn't
point
even know.
of conjoined.
You fooled them.
Yeah,
did
that
it,
was
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
trying to sound like there's this guitar player, Rabia Masad, that I'm a huge fan of, and I was just trying to write stuff that sounded like him. There's lyrics there. Again, I don't even know what they are. So my mom loves listening to lyrics. She's like, "Why can't you tell me what this song's about?" I was like, "I have no idea what any of these songs are about."
Yeah.
Lasting, I wrote the lyrics about it's just like like shit from your past that you think you're gonna be able to get over quickly, but then you don't, and it lasts longer than you think it would, and it fucks with your head.
Like lasting.
That's it. Lasting.
Also, a kind of a double meaning because like fertile ground, birth, lasting is life.
Expansion.
Exactly, yeah.
We were thinking like
Expansion, yeah. And lasting kind of changes in the middle, so
Yeah.
you can take that however you want to.
Oh, I'm gonna take it.
And then Abscission.
Abscission. I wrote that one. I think I wrote all of that. Like music and lyrics.
100% of it.
Yeah, that was music and lyrics. That one was, let's see, I was just put in the mood. Like, I went on a hike in like December, and it was like foggy and just like the spookiest possible feeling outside. Just like everything was dead, and all the leaves were dead, and it's just foggy and just spooky out there. And it was in the middle of the middle of the pandemic or whatever. It was like December 2020 or something, and it was just like the first time. I don't know. It was like a really refreshing, just like feeling and stuff. And I don't know. I just remember coming home and just being like just very mellowed out from that, and I just like sat in my basement like in the dark for like a while and just like playing around with shit until that came out. I just wanted to like I don't know. I just wanted to like that was a cool feeling. So I think the working title for that at first was Fog. And we're like, oh, that's dumb.
Wasn't it Detritus too?
Yes, something like that. Yeah, which
I
is a
remember
lyric in
there
it.
being a big discussion about the word detritus.
Yeah.
It was almost named detritus.
Right, and so the word abscission, a lot of this stuff I had to Google. It's not like I knew all this shit. Abscission is like the scientific word for like when leaves die and fall off trees.
That's a good word.
So
That's 18 word.
yeah, so I don't know, just kind of inspired by like just the tapping into the like more like spooky aspects of it, but it really came from like I love that. I don't know, I love that kind of vibe of like
Being surrounded by
foggy
dead
woods.
things.
What was that? Yeah, I don't know,
Being surrounded by
foggy
dead
woods
things.
and being out there and like hearing just like the trees creak a little bit, even though there's like not really any wind. Like, I don't know. I thought I fucking love that vibe, so I just kind of try to tap into that. And with that one, musically, like, that one never really settles into like a groove. Like, it only like a couple times, but there's a lot of space in that one that feels kind of like floaty. So I was trying to do that from like, floating down leaves and stuff. Kind of always, and the end of every phrase is kind of like, back on. So it's kind of tapping into that kind of thing a little bit. But that one, I think, I know we were talking about favorites before. That one isn't like my favorite, but that one, I think, as far as the writing process, that was the one that I was like, I took the most personally. Like if there were like notes on it, I was like,
That's your baby.
like it felt like it was my baby for some reason. Like I wanted to tweak that one until it was like good enough to be on the album.
What's next? The welder.
Or welder.
Welders. I know what the welder's about.
Oh, that's also me.
Yeah.
Okay. So the welder, that one was me. That was musically, Meshuggah, just basically like Meshuggah for the first few sections. The middle section, straight up Tool. I was like, I just need a Tool-y bass line here with toms. Like it was like how Tool can it be? And then, but yeah, like the Meshuggah riff in the beginning, like it was a matter of there's a video up on our Instagram of like me breaking that down. It's fucking lame, and I got like fucking calculator and shit out because it's like taking a rhythm that's like an odd number of sub beats long and then like looping it over 4/4 and all this shit. But yeah, just the most fucking try to make it the most like sludgy, like dirty sounding shit. Because what it's about lyrically is, this guy Marvin Heemeyer from Granby, Colorado, who in 2004, due to some like zoning disputes and shit like that, the town kind of fucked him over and kind of cost him his business and things like that. And he kind of went nuts and used his welding skills to armor one of his company's bulldozers with steel and concrete. And then he drove around and laid out the town. He didn't kill anyone except for himself. And he just like got in this like steel bulldozer, like this fucking like concrete covered bulldozer, and just like ran over municipal buildings and shit. And so like the imagery we're going for in that stuff is like the middle section where it goes to the toms and stuff, and then like afterwards is like that's the sound of him just like bulldozing shit.
Google image killdozer.
Killdozer, yeah.
What we're talking about, and to get a better idea of the fantastic documentary on the entire story. Is it on Netflix?
It's called Tread.
Tread, yeah.
Highly recommend it. Great story.
Yeah, and then there's like before it goes into like that Tom section, there's like a spoken word thing. Those are like quotes from Marvin Heemeyer's tapes of like, talking about like, what is it? Sometimes like reasonable men must do unreasonable things. It just like he was just like it's kind of off the rocker a little bit, obviously, but yeah.
He was fucked, man. He was like, God put me here to do this. Like,
For some reason, Marv has been a Gravis topic since like before Gravis was a thing. We just always talked about Marv.
So we got to write something about it, and so we called it the welder, and it's just like, his story, I guess.
I would love to do like a whole welder EP with like welder part.
Bro. Okay.
The welder part 6.
Yeah. Let's leave it at there.
Maybe in the
Anything
future.
else on welder?
All right, what's after that?
Endless.
Endless.
So
But it ends.
Endless is not at the end of the record. It's one before. That one was originally called Riff Salad. I think that was the first name I gave it. I know I had a different name. I think the first name was like Easier Time, because I think like when I first started writing, I think I was writing like complex-ish stuff, and I was like, I just want to have an easier time. So that's how I started Endless. So because I spent an easier time, it ended up just being like a riff salad of a bunch of different riffs that
Then it wouldn't end.
were all kind of cool. But that one took a lot of help from you guys to kind of put it together and turn it into a song. I think at one point...
That was another challenge thing we did.
Yeah, another challenge thing. We like cut this one up. Like
Right.
and then rearrange parts in different sections, duplicated sections, cut out sections, each of us individually, then all listened back, and then basically came to a compromise or agreement, a consensus of our 3 renditions of something that we all thought was cool after chopping this riff salad up. You know, it's like a chopped salad.
Yummy, yummy.
And the lyrics was some bullshit. I don't know. It's just about like, I think one of our topics was like the Mobius strip, and so I was like, let's think about that, and, like the concept of infinity, and like. Again, like oh dude, like I love Tool, bro. Like, oh and I don't know. I think what really ended up making it cool, and like again, why it kind of works as a single is like the chorus is like not that deep. It's like just pulling myself away over and over again. It's just like okay, like that kind of works. Like that's a sing-alongable vibe, and I think that ended up working out pretty cool.
It's just a simple riff salad, basic ingredients.
It's the most Deftonesy song we have, I think.
You think so?
And lasting.
No way.
That's dude, 310 and lasting. Come on.
That's 310.
Not all the riffs.
Yeah, but
yeah, that's
No.
No, I would say endless too. Yeah, because vocally, we do like.
vocally sure.
And with that lead guitar, it's like a little bit shoegazy.
It's washy. Yeah, I'll
the
give you that.
vocals are all washy and reverby. Yeah, you're right. Most
I'm right.
Deftones.
Yeah, I'm definitely right.
You're right.
Yeah, you're right. You're definitely right.
You're right.
I've never heard you be wrong, actually.
I'm never wrong. I just stop talking if I realize I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Not true.
Pando.
Pando is the
I got broads in
closer.
Atlanto. I'm sorry, continue. That was so dumb. I'm sorry. That was one of the stupidest things I've ever said in my life.
Yeah, I'm glad you don't edit these.
I do, but I'm leaving that in.
Good. Pando was the closer of the record. Does everybody out there know what Pando is?
No.
Raise your hand.
Trevor,
It's
tell
like-
us about it.
It's like
Pando is a
Panda.
guy who ran over his town.
He was a weldo.
So there's this really big tree out there.
Out there? Out where?
It's an aspen.
There.
Utah.
You can tell because of the way.
You can tell because of the way. So there's a really big tree out there. It's an aspen. You can tell because of the way it is. And Pando, this tree I'm talking about, it is the largest living organism known to man. It looks like many trees from afar, but
And
these
from a
trees
close.
all share a root system. They're all connected and they share the same DNA.
Kind of like us.
Yeah, kind of like Gravis.
Should call the band Pando.
So this Pando is really
This Pando.
is really inspiring to I think all of us to some degree because we like nature, we like trees and stuff. Like it kind of became a theme across the record.
You got it.
As far as writing it goes, it started out with I wanted to write a Gravis riff, and that's where we got dano nano 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 nano. To me, that sounded like Gravis. And then if I thought a little bit more about it, it's kind of a circular riff. It kind of turns around and keeps going, kind of like Pando keeps growing, ever expanding.
I think
It's all
that's a
one
stretch.
thing. What?
Trevor, just talking out of your ass now, bud. We couldn't come up with a second riff for a while. That's what happened.
So I was like, I'm gonna write a Gravis riff. I wrote a Gravis riff, and yeah, take it from there, Bosco. You wrote the lyrics, right?
Yeah, lyrics are about Pando.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
about
they-
that tree. They're
I
about
see.
that tree that shares like all the DNA between
Yeah,
a bunch,
it's-
what looks like a bunch of trees. It's the
Yeah.
largest living organism.
Yeah,
Most
it's Pando.
massive, I think, or
Most
something.
massive, yes.
Something like that, yeah.
So it's the end of the trilogy, endless, lasting, Pando.
No, Fertile Ground last.
Sorry, I didn't say
Fertile
endless.
Ground last.
You said
I
that
understand.
twice.
In Washington.
Endless Welder.
So, fertile ground, lasting, Pando. So we talk about birth, life, and then Pando's death, like Pando dying. All the lyrics about fucking fire and shit, getting burned down or whatever, or like
Also
like
where the album
ascending
name
to the
comes from.
sky from the dirt, all that kind of stuff. So it's just about like impending doom, and then dying, and then I'm pretty sure that's metal as fuck. Last time I checked.
And Trevor says Long Dead, so that's why we named the album Long Dead.
Yeah, Long Dead. Yeah, that's the lyric. Yes, the lyric "Long Dead" is one of the. It is how we got the album.
Yeah, that's Pando.
That's a
It looks like a lot of
portion.
trees, but it's all one fucking thing.
It's
a
really
small
one
portion
tree.
of Pando right there. That's
Yeah,
just
it's like
the
it takes
split.
up acres and acres. Like, it looks like an enormous forest. It's like a huge forest, but it's one organism, and like other species try to like grow up through there, and like they don't do well because Pando just fucking bites them. Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
We were just impressed. I think what I like the most about Pando is that, like, I think the opening riff, like, especially like the with like the guitar wails, like just like those bends. To me, like, I didn't write this on complimenting you, so I'm not fucking shooting my own horn here, but like, toot my like. Never mind.
I don't want to shoot my own arm here, but
yeah. Like, to me, like, that's why I like listening to Pando, because like I hear that opening riff, and to me it just sounds like mind-bogglingly big. Like I just picture something like vast and just like, like a huge, just
That's
thing.
spot on. That's exactly what I was going for. And I did. So the first riff I wrote was the later on riff of da-do 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 da-do. So that the riff you were talking about that comes before that is intentionally massive, but still like the smaller, more closed-in one. Because I did want the song to like expand as it goes, just as Pando does. So it starts with the kind of closed, and it opens up, and I picture like Pando happening, like in like a time lapse, like sped up over like
that's
a bunch
cool.
of years, like growing over. Of
Music
course,
video?
obviously, Pando's been around a lot longer than the song is.
no, I don't think so.
Yeah, dude, we
No, it's
wrote
like
this song, and some scientists were like, "Yo, we should do that.
Yo.
Let's plant that shit."
No, I mean it took longer than how long is Pando? 3 minutes and 50 seconds.
Something like that.
Oh no, it's 4:16.
Dude, don't play that. It's copyrighted.
So Pando's been around longer than 4 minutes and 16 seconds is what I was trying to say. So it's like a time lapse.
Okay, yeah.
We have lyrics. Why didn't you
That's
just
really
say it?
clever, Trevor.
What?
That's really clever.
I think Trevor is my favorite one, like physically to play. I think it's the most fun.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. I did make the guitar riffs fun.
Yeah. There's a lot of moving around. So I had fun with that.
It's kind of a fun. It feels good on your hand. It's a good stretch. The Pando riffs. At least for me.
one. Sure, buddy.
Well, that's the track list.
What's your least favorite song, Tom?
I'm not gonna. I
Oh.
don't.
Give that to Kobe.
Yeah,
what's
what
your
Trevor
least favorite?
wrote was my least favorite. Anyway, Long Dead is out now. Yeah. Do you have anything else you want to comment on? Any like funny stories on recording, or do you have anything else?
Jeez.
I mean, I'm sure you could fill a book with it, but any like thing you want to
We
wrap
couldn't.
it up
No.
with?
Let me just say
None of
this.
us are literate, so that's where you're wrong.
I'm just gonna say this. It is absolutely astounding to me that we managed to put out a record.
Yes.
That's impressive.
If you were in our meetings, you'd understand.
Caveman brain.
Oh.
Shocking.
Most of the time, our meetings aren't even in English. We're just grunting at each other.
Speaking gibberish. Yeah.
Well, congratulations on actually putting it out. I'm very
Thanks,
excited.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it, Tom.
Tom.
Yeah, I'm so excited to go listen to it now.
Yeah, I bet you are.
But yeah, thank you guys for coming on the show. I appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having us,
having
bro.
us.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Let's do this again next week.
next week, sure.
Do this again
want to
in
do it
3
virtually,
hours.
like
In the week after.
and then the next day and the next day. Yeah, this has been episode 92 of the Hops and Bops podcast. Go listen to Long Dead. It's on Spotify, and that's it.
We weren't going to make any more music ever again, but if we make more and you let us be on the podcast, will you let us be on the podcast?
What?
Yes.
So, all right, we'll make more
We
music.
can
then.
only make music if it gets us on Hops and Bobs.
If we're not
This is
into
the- this is the
podcasts,
key.
we're done making music.
Okay. Episode 92 in the books. Thank you guys so much for coming on, even virtually from where you guys at? You in New York or you in Jersey?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
The
Nice.
Liquid Death was good.
Yes, we got to talk more about Liquid Death.
It was good.
If I
Oh
had
yeah,
to-
we
I
want to
don't-
get sponsored by them. So Liquid Liquid Death.
Give us money.
Yeah, cover the words.
It does kind of look like it does kind of look like a Coors Light almost if you weren't paying attention.
Miller Lite. They do the light.
Or Miller, yeah. Excuse me. This is rather Miller Lite E. I like the just water one because it's just water. That's probably second. And then the sparkling one wasn't too bad for a non-sparkling one.
I'm gonna try to make myself throw up. Hold on.
Go.
Can you do it again?
Pew.
Just punch him in the stomach until he throws up.
I'm ready, boys. Hit me.
Trevor, let's see it, buddy. Go
on. How's the severed lime, Trevor? Can you expand on severed lime?
I'm gonna need to have more, but I like it a lot. So
Didn't we just do the outro?
No, we got to expand on this.
You got a text from your girlfriend.
Oh shit.
We got to start all over.
Oh no.
No, it's fine. Anyway, this has been fun. Thank you guys. Seriously, I had a great time. I hope you did too. Please listen to their music. It's very good. I actually did enjoy it quite a bit.
Thank you.
And yeah, episode 93 come out next week. I don't know what it's gonna be. You know, fucking who cares?
We've been Gravis. He's been Tom, and you've been the listeners of the Hops and Bobs podcast.
And we've been Gravis.
And also,
Go follow them on social media. What's your at?
Gravis
At Marvin Heemeyer.
At Killdozer.
Send us an
Gravis
email.
Band at hotmail.com.
Hotmail.
No.
Actually, my Gravis email is weaselevan@gmail.com. That's my Gravis email.
Okay.
You're the only one who has a Gravis email.
Yeah, nobody else has a Gravis email.
Oh my god.
We actually do have an email account. I don't know if any of us have ever checked.
Gravis Band 1.
@gmail.com.
Send them an email.
Yeah.
Send us an email.
Send them a fan mail.
Yeah.
We're gonna set up a Venmo too. You can just send us money.
Yeah. At Ethan-G-
Also, our NFT line is launching soon.
Send them like DeviantArt pictures of like furries that
No!
drawn by like middle schoolers.
Ew!
That's weird.
It is.
I'll look at it.
Gravisband1@gmail.com.
No, we're on Instagram's what we're active on.
Yes.
And even then, we're not as active as we should be probably. But yeah,
We're
@Gravis
there.
Band.
Yeah. If they do go on tour or do some live shows, you'll see them announce it there.
Yeah, we'll put it there.
Yes.
We'll announce it there on the Instagram.
Yes.
Yep.
So
That's where
now
we'll announce it.
actual outro time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hops and Bops podcast is on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. I make a lot of TikToks now. I got Margaritaville Crocs yesterday. I was very excited about that.
I watched that TikTok.
Thank you.
If you want to watch Tom take a shot out of a pair of Crocs, he does it on TikTok.
I don't know why.
He does it.
That sounds like Tim Robinson. I don't know why.
Bro, he does it. I did do it.
You gotta donate.
Gotta give.
You gotta give.
Yeah, we're streaming on follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all the funny sites. Episode 93 will come out next week. Who knows? Hopefully the guys will be back. They haven't been on in like 2 months.
Oh,
Oh, really?
Almost. Joe's been on
Solo?
last month. Yeah, for the last couple of them I've done it solo. It's been fun doing a lot of cool, interesting. Like I'm trying to hype up my interviewer skills. Obviously, it didn't work, but
Well, we're not the easiest
If you
interview.
can
Tom.
interview
It's great.
us
We also
well,
didn't help
we're
at
probably
all.
the best.
Yes, because we're menaces. So.
it was kind of like teaching a kindergarten class.
We also had active plans to derail this podcast. So.
Yeah.
I kept you on track for a little bit, but you know, we got a little experimental there. For
I
a
think
bit.
that was probably the longest stretch of like serious commentary the four of us have ever put together. Ever.
Like dead serious. Yeah.
Like ever.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did
So like
answer
good
a lot
for
of
you,
those
dog.
questions.
Yes, we did do that. But thank you guys so much. We will see you next week. Thank you guys for listening, and peace.
We'll be on here next week. Yeah. See you guys.
See you next week.